This is Shy,
And this is Megan,
and this is the Magical Happy Hour.
a podcast where we share our love for Disney and theme parks, travel tips, food.
And anything else we feel like talking about.
This is episode 17, and today we're going to be... oh my gosh, and we took a week off. We might be a little rusty, but probably not.
Apologies in advance if we are.
But this week we're going to be talking about our 5 favorite Disney movies from the 90's.
Yeah, and Megan knows what mine are, but I don't know what hers are. So I'm excited.
I was like, I'll tell if she asks, but if not, then we'll see.
Do you have yours in any particular order? Because I do not.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I do have mine in order, but if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine.
I couldn't.
Okay. Mine was pretty difficult too. This isn't like a hard order. It's a very soft order, you know. If that makes sense. First, we do have some news. There's been a lot going on at the Disney parks this week.
Yeah, definitely a lot going on.
I shouldn't say just this week, but since our last news update.
Yeah. A couple things. So one thing that we have here that I was really excited about is you can now sit in the nose of the monorail, and you can also sit you can sit on both ends. I forget what the other end is called.
Like the caboose? Was that closed before?
I don't know if they call it the caboose, but essentially that's the same idea. You can sit in the front with the monorail drivers, and I think that would be really cool. That's something I would super love to do. And you can also sit all the way at the end of the monorail and get like a 360 view of the park. It looks really cool, and if you're interested in doing this, all you have to do is ask. You may or may not be able to experience this depending on availability that day, and there may have been people asking to go ahead of you, so you might have to wait a few minutes for the next monorail to come around, but definitely something worth checking out, something we both will have to check out next time we go.
Yeah, I'm interested in the back one. That sounds pretty nice.
Yeah.
Some other news, I've seen some talk on Reddit of people saying that cast members at the end of the night are letting those without a virtual queue into the queue of the Haunted Mansion. It sounds like it's up to the discretion of the cast member, and this is like the very last hour of the night, so don't be thinking that you're going to be getting in at like 6 o'clock or something like that. But I have seen people claim, multiple people, that this is something that is happening more and more often. It seems like maybe there's more availability by the end of the night, so worth trying. Just, be nice to cast members, and if they tell you no, then it is still a virtual queue, so there's not much you can do about it, right?
Yes, and on that same note, I've also heard that virtual queues are starting to go quicker in the day. So if you are interested in riding the Haunted Mansion on the day of your trip, I would be sure to set an alarm for 7 a.m. And if you don't make that one, try again at noon, set an alarm, because if that's your only way of getting on Haunted Mansion, you don't want to miss out.
Absolutely.
What else? Ooh, so if you guys have seen the Create Your Own headband, you can now add Inside Out characters to the headbands, which is really cool. Do you know if it's like all of the characters, or have you just seen a handful of them?
I'm not sure. I do remember seeing joy, anxiety, and I think sadness but I can't say for sure what other characters, but that sounds cute. Super cute.
I
I'm sure they're all
wonder.
listed online.
Oh, okay, cool. I wonder if you can still get the Nightmare Before Christmas plushies for your headband, or if
Like
they.
if they're still available.
Mm-hmm. Because I know we got them that day, or on the day that they were first released, but I haven't heard anything about them um being out of stock. So hopefully you can still get those guys as well because they are super cute.
So after a quick little check, it does look like it's all the Inside Out 2 or Inside Out characters, not just Inside Out 2, but Inside Out with the addition of Inside Out 2.
Super fun. Those characters are all really adorable.
They are. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie once it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, you'll enjoy it.
And then our last little piece of news, Scary Teddy is going to be available in popcorn bucket form at the Disneyland Resort starting on October 3rd.
Yeah, he's so cute. He deserves more merch, so I'm glad that he's getting a popcorn bucket.
Yeah, definitely is underrepresented.
Yes. I also wanted to mention that they are progressing pretty quickly with the store that they're building outside of Haunted Mansion, the new gift shop. I'm curious if they're still going to have a section in Pieces of Eight when that gift shop opens, or if all of that is going to become like Pirates of the Caribbean. What do you think?
I don't think much is going to change with that store, just because I would be surprised if all of a sudden they had so much more Parts of the Caribbean stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I remember there being a lot of it when I was a kid, but that's when like they were in the middle of making all the movies, I feel like.
Yeah,
We'll just have to see. I'm excited to see what the new store looks like.
me too.
I like the design that they have in Disney World of their little merch store that's by the exit.
Oh yeah, I do like that store a lot too. That one kind of almost looks like a little house.
Yeah,
It's really cute. And the concept art of this one looks really cool. It looks really open. Like there's not like a door for you to walk through. It's just like looks like it's all kind of open.
should be cool.
Yeah. Okay, so now getting into the bulk of our episode. We wanted to do this because we're both 90's babies. We grew up watching these movies, and it was honestly harder than I thought it was going to be,
Oh my gosh, it was
narrowing
hard.
it down to
Dude,
five.
it was hard. I forgot that some movies were made in the 90s and
Yeah,
forgot about some movies altogether and
yeah,
had to dive deep.
yes. So if your favorite 90's movie isn't on here, we apologize. But that doesn't mean we don't also love it. We just only
Some of my
have
favorite,
to choose from.
yeah, some of my favorites aren't even on my own list. There's only 5.
Yeah.
But we'd love to hear what yours are, so let us know.
Please let us know. All right, Megan, why don't you start by telling us one of your top 5 favorite movies from the 90's?
Okay, so I had to include this. It absolutely it's like, it feels like it's a part of my being, but Bug's Life. Absolutely love it. Miss Bugs Land, precious. So, for anyone that doesn't know, Bug's Life is a 1998 Pixar film about a colony of ants led by the Queen and Princess Ada, where each summer they're forced to give food to a gang of grasshoppers led by Hopper. Flick, who's like our leading man, accidentally destroys the food offering. When Hopper discovers this, he demands twice as much food. So Flick earnestly suggests to the colony that they enlist the help of bigger bugs to help fight off the grasshoppers. Princess Ada sees it as a way to get rid of Flick, and so she sends him off on this quest. Flick travels to the city And that's where he meets a group of circus bugs who are like absolutely probably the highlight of this movie. Like when you think of this, I feel like you're immediately like thinking of Heimlich or, you know, the ladybug or um I'm gonna forget everyone's names right now, but the like the little pill bugs, the twins. So they're a circus troupe, which Flick mistakes for warriors. And when like this mistake is found out, Flick like insists that they just like keep up the ruse. They end up constructing a fake bird as like an attempt to fool the grasshoppers. But PT Flea, haha, good name, who's like the ringleader of the circus bugs, comes and like tries to get the bugs back and exposes who they are. And then like all of the colony of ants like exile them and Flick. And then Dot overhears. Dot is like the other princess. So like Princess Ada's little sister, who I was absolutely obsessed with when I was a kid. Like I wanted to be her. She convinces them to return after overhearing Hopper like his plan to execute the queen. After the circus bugs distract the grasshoppers long enough to rescue the queen, Flick deploys the bird, and it initially fools the grasshoppers, but then PT Flea sets the birds on fire, which inspires the ants and the circus bugs to like fight back against the grasshoppers. And they absolutely do. They super do it. Hopper gets eaten by a bird, like a real bird, actually, at the end of it. And they're cool. Now they're on their way. They're independent, living life. I don't know. It's so cute. I was so obsessed with it as a kid. I had literally a video game for it, or a PC computer game. Obsessed.
Good old PC computer games, man.
Right? Dude, foundational. I want to know how many hours I clocked on that game, truly.
Why do you think you felt such a strong connection to this movie as a kid?
I don't know. That is a good question because I wasn't into bugs. I definitely like played with like pill bugs, you know, on the ground, like roly polies. But besides that, I'm like very bug adverse. But it was funny and cute, like very colorful. The bugs all have like really good voices, like phenomenal voice acting in this movie. I remember my mom being so excited to take me to see It's Tough to Be a Bug when I was a kid, and me just being absolutely terrified, like enjoying it, but also being terrified at the same time. And I wouldn't like sit by myself. So I just sit, I think I said this in a past episode, but I sat on my mom's lap. So I didn't feel any of the effects of the seat. And I wondered for years after that, because I didn't go to Disney very much as a kid, what that felt like. Sorry, I'm rambling. I don't know. Something, I think probably playing the video game constantly also really cemented this movie for me.
I also really loved this movie as a kid. It's so fun. I think I loved it so much because it was like a little bit scarier than
Yeah.
a lot of Disney movies. And I think that created some sort of like bond with the movie because it like invoked a feeling that I hadn't really experienced many times before of being afraid while watching a movie.
Feel like the peril.
Yeah, yeah. And I also really loved the princesses. I remember, I think I had like them as stuffed animals.
Yes, I had a dot plushie and it was so weirdly proportioned, like terrible
Yeah,
proportion.
huge head.
Huge head, like the scrawniest, tiny body, which is what she looks like, but
Yeah,
didn't translate.
yeah.
You want to tell us about one of yours?
Oh, do you have any trivia or like fun facts about the movie?
I said the answer to my one Bug's Life question. I think I was gonna add more, and then in my mind, I had finished. It's literally how does Hopper find his demise at the end of the movie? And I literally just
My bird.
have a bird.
So I am going to start with a Goofy movie.
Wow.
This movie came out in 1995, and obviously it's a movie starring Goofy, and it's also starring his son, Max. And basically, Max starts getting into some trouble at school while trying to impress his crush, Roxanne.
Oh, Maxie.
Oh, Maxie. And Goofy tries to help him by trying to make more of a bond between them. And he takes them on a cross country fishing trip. And just in Goofy essence, they get into plenty of adventures and messes along the way. And it's it's a fun movie. Um, I was wondering, do you know the name of the like famous singer group in a Goofy movie?
Powerline?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, is this a trick question? I thought I was missing. I really haven't seen this movie very much, so that's why I was like, I don't know. I can only think of one.
Yes, yes. So it is Powerline, and that's part of why I love this movie so much is the music is really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like the effects of the movie are there. It's so 90s, like what everyone's wearing and like how everyone's talking. It's so 90s. It's so fun. And I was wondering, do you know who Powerline is based off of?
No, I was always kind of curious if he was based on somebody.
So he is based off of a mix of Prince and Michael Jackson.
Okay, I could so see that as you were like, he is. I'm like Prince or something, but I bet it's Michael Jackson for the time. And I was like, I don't know, but I wouldn't have guessed actually that mix, but I can definitely see it.
Yeah. And we find out where oh my gosh, I didn't write it down. But we find out where Goofy lives according to the movie, and it's in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That is interesting. That.
right?
Wait, is Ohio the potato place? Is that why it's Potato Land?
Oh, is
Or
it? Look it
or
up.
is or I think it's Idaho.
Yes, Idaho potatoes.
Okay, I always get another podcast I listen to, they always are like Idaho,
Ooh,
because they're like, I don't remember if it's Idaho, Iowa, or
Ohio.
Ohio. No, this movie is so cute. I don't know why it wasn't, it's like one that I kind of missed. It was always like around. I've seen it for sure. Actually, Matt and I watched it at the beginning of the summer.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, so it's been a recent watch. But what about this movie resonates with you?
I think, like I said earlier, I really love the music, and for whatever reason, so I have a cousin. His name is Tony, and he married his middle school, high school sweetheart, Lexi.
Oh my gosh. All right.
And the house that Max and Goofy are living in, it has this porch, and it really reminds me of my cousin's porch. And the way that the two of them interact in the movie really reminded me of how like my cousin and his now wife but then girlfriend used to interact when they were young, and him like just kind of just being a silly kid and her being like this cute young shy girl. It's always reminded me of them, and I feel like that's why I have such an attachment to this movie.
That's so cute. I love that. You're like, this is my family.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm like, that's my cousin.
I love that.
What's your next movie?
Next for me is The Parent Trap, the remake. Of course, we're talking about
So
the
good.
90s.
So good.
So good. I think this is probably one of the movies I watched the most as a kid, easily. But Parent Trap came out in 1998, has Dennis Quaid as Nick Parker and Natasha Richardson playing Elizabeth James, who are divorced. They were separated shortly after the birth of their identical twin daughters, Hallie Parker and Annie James, who are both played by Lindsay Lohan. They are reunited spontaneously, shockingly, at summer camp after being separated for their whole lives. They decide to switch places so that they can get to know the parent that they didn't grow up with. Annie, playing Hallie, gets a big shock when she finds out that not she's not the only woman in her dad's life anymore, or one of the daughters, one of the twins, because he recently got engaged to Meredith Blake.
Yep.
Annie is caught. Huh? What did you say?
Yep.
Yuck. Much, infamously notorious, or infamously, oh, hello, infamously younger woman. But Annie is caught by Chessie, the family nanny, and then Hallie is caught by Martin, the family's butler. So one is in Napa and one is in London. I don't think I mentioned that. That's a big thing, right? But they're all reunited with either parent, like the opposite parents, with like neither of them having the intention of reconciling. But after they go on like a little camping trip with Meredith and things transpire, they do go back home, but then the surprise ending is that Nick and Hallie surprise Elizabeth and Annie back in London. Happily ever after. Very cute. Feel like this movie is so extremely iconic.
I also love this movie and grew up watching it many times. I am still yet to try Oreos and peanut butter though.
Oh, yeah, no, I've never done that either.
But it's something that like I always wanted to try after seeing it in the movie.
You know what's so funny? I did not even remember that being a part of the movie.
Oh, really? Do you like remember now that I've mentioned it?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, oh, yeah, there is that.
I really love the part where they are like coaching each other on
Oh,
like how to act and using like pictures of the family and like this is this person, like and all of that because oh my gosh, like I wish we still like carried around pictures of our family members. You know, we didn't just have a phone to like look them up on. And we were born later in the 90's. So by the time that I was probably old enough to go to like a summer camp and things like that, I already did have a phone and
yeah.
definitely like wasn't carrying around like photos of family members. But I thought that was really cute. And
The,
that's
yeah.
one of my favorite scenes.
Oh my gosh. That's something I didn't even think about, but you're totally right. Like, we really, well, I mean, I guess we are carrying around a lot of pictures, but not hard copies.
Yeah, like intentionally, like I brought these photos with me because I would miss you guys.
Oh,
You know?
I did used to carry around when I had my old wallet, um, like photo booth film strip in it from college.
Oh, cute.
Yeah. I don't know why I chose that of all things, but funny. It must be like 90's residual memory, stuck in there of people doing that. Let's start that again, actually.
We should.
have you ever seen like the original movie?
No, I haven't. Have you?
Yeah, a long, long time ago. I remember my mom sitting me down to watch it one day, and I was just like, I like the one I like. It's okay, mom, but I'm sure it's good. I was just a kid though.
Do you have a favorite scene from this film?
I think just anytime they're doing the handshake,
Oh,
like
yes.
well, like
Yes.
just the music, even talking about music, this movie has like iconic music, like all through it. It doesn't have like a musical number or anything like that, but
Mhm.
just the music playing throughout the whole thing is, and it like itches something in my brain.
Really? I feel like I've never paid any attention to it before.
Oh, you will next time you watch it,
Okay.
100%. I do have two little trivia questions or
Okay.
whatever. What game do Hallie and Amy play at camp, or what games, I should say, before kind of both of them happen before they're friendly?
Um, they're uh gosh, I don't know what it's called, but they're in the suits and they have the sword. Jousting?
Fencing,
Jousting?
fencing,
Fencing, okay.
jousting. Dude, that would be so funny if they were jousting. Could you imagine? That would be just a completely different thing. Oh my gosh. And then do you remember another one that they play?
Do they play chess?
No,
No, what is it?
poker. They're like
Poker.
gambling.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, yes, I recall.
And then second, last one, whatever. Do you know what Hallie tells her grandfather that he smells like?
Peppermint?
And there's one more.
Peppermint and licorice?
No,
What is it?
tobacco and peppermint.
Tobacco and peppermint. I got one.
Yeah, you did. Honestly, you just impressed the heck out of me. So, girl. That scene also, I still think about it. I don't know. It's so just a sweet moment, and I was really close with my granddad, and he definitely didn't smell like tobacco or peppermint, but never. Not that I smelled bad, but just like Old Spice.
Also, it's absolutely insane the idea that you would separate and take one child and the other take another child and never see your other children.
Dude, demented.
Like,
What? Like psychopaths.
absolutely. Like, I don't know why as children it was just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. No, you can't do
No,
that. That's not okay.
it's not okay. It's not okay for absolutely anyone. Also, the family that was just like, yeah. If like imagine your child having two children, they come home with one because they got divorced or separated or
Yeah, I
whatever.
just took this
It's like,
one.
yeah, no, that's totally fine. I'm fine with that too, actually. Excuse me? Yeah, absolutely not. What's next up for you?
Next up for me, let's see here. Ooh, so I have Halloween Town, and
Oh,
I this is one of mine and my mom's absolute favorite movies. So this movie came out in 1998, and you are following a young girl named Marnie, and she lives at home with her mom and her two younger siblings. She has a younger brother and a younger sister. And Marnie is super into Halloween. She loves anything spooky, creepy, and she has different artifacts in her room. And her mom is totally against it, and Marnie just does not understand why. One Halloween, her grandmother, I think her name's Aggie in the movie. Yeah, Aggie. She comes to visit, and she has what is similar to like a Mary Poppins-esque bag where she can pull out endless amounts of treats and decorations for Halloween, and you can tell that Marnie's mom is not a big fan of this. It seems like Marnie's mom wants nothing to do with Halloween and wants her children to have nothing to do with Halloween as well. And although she feels that way, she allows her children to have some fun with their grandmother that evening, and their grandmother puts them to bed. Meanwhile, the grandmother and the mom are talking in the kitchen, and the grandmother is telling the mom, I need you to come back home and help me. There's evil spirits, and Marnie can hear them kind of arguing downstairs, and she comes down the stairs to take a peek at what's going on. And that's something we all definitely did as children, right? Like eavesdropping on the adult conversation and peeking around, seeing what's going on. And as the mom is cleaning up dinner around the kitchen, she is putting some fried chicken away into a container. And Aggie goes, "Oh, don't you know it's much better when it's fresh off the bone?" And she snaps, and the bucket of fried chicken turns into a live chicken. And Marnie sees this and is like, "Oh my gosh." And the mother is just like, "Oh, stop. I don't want you using magic in the house." And um, all of these sorts of things. And so Marnie starts overhearing that there is some sort of bad thing at home. Now, she doesn't know where home is for her grandmother necessarily, and doesn't know what this bad thing is that her mom needs or her grandmother needs help with. But it seems like her mom wants nothing to do with it. She has put, her past behind her, and she just wants to stay in their home, in their town, and not have anything to do with it. So the grandmother packs her things and leaves. Marnie gets her two siblings together, and they end up, the brother is more reluctant to tag along, but he wants to make sure his siblings are safe and don't get into too much trouble. And so they all end up following grandmother Aggie to this bus stop that magically appears. And they get onto the bus, and there's all these creepy looking Halloween characters. And I believe the brother is like, "Oh, there must have been, some sort of convention, and that's why there's all these characters on the bus, and it's Halloween, and whatever." And they end up taking this bus all the way to what is known as Halloween Town. You get to see the grandmother get off, and she goes her own way, and then the grandchildren follow. They are approached by a taxi driver who is a skeleton. And he is chatting with them, and they say, "Oh, we're trying to get to our grandmother's house." He's like, "Oh, your grandmother Aggie has lived in the same house for 100 years or something like that." And the brother's thinking, "Oh my gosh, 100 years," or I can't remember exactly how many years he says, but he's like, "Oh, this guy,
Mm.
is like doesn't know what he's talking about, essentially."
They're like,
He
the talking skeleton doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yes, exactly. And he is like, "Oh, it's just I love this." He references Disneyland. He's like, "Oh, he's just an animatronic. Disneyland's full of them."
I don't remember that, but that is so funny. I love that little Easter egg.
Yeah, it's really cute. And so they get to their grandmother Aggie's house, and Marnie is trying to find a way in, because it's behind a locked gate. And eventually the little sister says a little spell over the lock on the gate and turns it into a frog, and they're able to get in that way and find their grandmother. She explains to them that they're trying to fight this bad thing, right? This thing or this force is turning her friends into these really mean creatures, and then all of a sudden they just stop showing up altogether and they're like essentially missing. She has this recipe list of all of the different things that she needs, and she has this, it almost looks like a flashlight, but it's like a light bulb flashlight looking thing. She's like filling it with witch's brew, and she makes this funny comment that, because she makes it like in the microwave, and she makes this comment that like, oh, instant is never as good because it doesn't work the way that she wants it to. But then she says a spell and you see this like really evil guy. They then end up like going back into the town to like get their ingredients and whatnot. Meanwhile, the mom ends up showing up. Obviously, she's really upset. She is just like, no, we're going home. You guys don't belong here. Marnie is like, I'm a witch. And oh, I forgot to mention, when the mom and the grandmother were in the kitchen arguing, Marnie overhears the grandmother saying that Marnie needs to start her training because she's turning 13, and if she doesn't start her training, she'll lose all of her powers. And so when the mom arrives in Halloween Town, Marnie is really upset and she's like, you were keeping this from me. I want to learn how to become a witch like you and like grandma, and I want to have powers. Her mom is like, absolutely not. We're going home. Well, then the bus system is down and they're not able to go home right then. And they have to try to figure something else out. So they go and talk to the mayor. And it turns out the mayor is the mom's boyfriend from high school or teenage years, whatever. He doesn't want them to go because he is got his heart set on getting back together with their mom, right? So they end up running into one of the grandmother's friends, and she has become like a very different character than like someone that you saw at the beginning of the movie. And it kind of, she looks like a lot scarier, and she's not very friendly with the grandmother at all and looks really kind of evil. The grandmother's like, oh my gosh, it's happening to her now. Like, soon enough, she'll be gone altogether and like we won't see her anymore. One way or another, they end up in this old movie theater. The evil thing is on the screen, and the grandmother Aggie and the daughter are trying to stop him, and he ends up freezing them in time, right? Then the kids have to go throughout town and try to find all of the ingredients for this spell on their own to try to save their mom and their grandma and save Halloween Town. So they end up getting some help from like the neighborhood troublemaker kid who was kind of picking on Marnie in the beginning, and I think, he might think she's cute, and now he wants to help her. I also think he's starting to get a bit of a conscience because he doesn't actually want anyone to get hurt or anything to happen to these people that the bad thing is trying to take over, right? He was once what is described as like a hideous warlock, and the bad thing like took away all of that, and he's now like this handsome young guy, and he is working for him as like a form of payment for that transformation. He ends up helping Marnie, and while they are able to get all of their ingredients into their little flashlight light thing, he dresses up as Marnie himself while Marnie is out trying to get the light into the town's pumpkin, their center pumpkin in the town square, and he's out running in the crowd as a distraction. The bad thing ends up freezing him while Marnie is able to get the light into the pumpkin and saves Halloween Town, basically. And it's a really cute movie. I love it so much because I always watched it with my mom growing up, and we would have to sneak it from my dad because he didn't want me watching anything Halloweeny or scary. My dad is like really traditional, really religious, and he like didn't want anything like that in his house. But then as time went on, he realized it was really a harmless film and nothing too evil or too crazy is going on in the movie. But I remember thinking that the bad thing was so scary, and I would have to hide behind the couch whenever he would come on the screen because I was so afraid. But I still loved the movie so much. It's something that I watch every single year, over and over again. It's very near and dear to my heart. I love it so much.
Oh, it's so good. It's so cute. Honestly, I know that there's a few of them. I've definitely seen like 1 through 3.
Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of them. And in the second one, you meet Cal, who is Caliber, which is the bad guy. It's his son. And Cal and Marnie are now together in real life, which is cute.
Oh, wow. Okay. The actors.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. That's very cute. I love that. No, this movie is so precious, so good. It is like a little bit scary, but like fully the entire spirit of Halloween. It's a fun time.
Yeah. So you can actually visit Halloween Town. They have the Spirit of Halloween Town Festival hosted every year, once a year, from the middle of September through October 31st. Do you have any idea where this is, where this was filmed?
No, I don't know.
It is in St. Helens, Oregon.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I could see Oregon for sure.
Yeah, so they have that every year and you can go visit it, which I think is really cool. I'm going to have to talk my mom into doing a road trip up there one day.
Oh my gosh, that would be so much fun. How long did you say that they do the festival for?
It's from mid-September through October 31st.
Okay. Okay, so you got a few weeks in there.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's
3?
everything I have for Halloween Town. What's your next favorite movie, Megan?
I just must be a huge fan of 1998 because my next film is Mulan. Just an absolute classic. There are so many good things about it. But just a little overview. The Huns, led by the ruthless Shan Yu, invade Han China by breaching the Great Wall. The Emperor orders a general mobilization with conscription notices requiring 1 man from each family to join the imperial army. Mulan, being in fear of her father's life, decides to disguise herself as a man, going by the name Ping, and enlists herself in the army. Thankfully, she's joined by a Lucky Cricket and a Mushu, who were sent by her ancestors. She slowly gains the respect of her fellow soldiers just by her sheer determination and hard work, but all while disguised as a man. She's found out after being ambushed by Huns, her and the rest of the army that she's with. She was able to save them, but in the middle of it caused an avalanche where she was injured. And then, while they're passing her up, she's found out to be a woman. So she has to leave. But she still travels to the city to warn everyone about the planned attempt to capture the emperor and in the end successfully ends up saving them, gaining the honor that she was striving for.
I really enjoy Mulan now, but as a kid, I did not like this movie.
Really?
I did not, because I was a very girly little girl.
I was gonna say I didn't want to put it out there, but I was like, what is it, too boy for you?
Yes, I was like, what is she doing? Like, so confused. I was like, my mom really liked this movie and she really tried to push it on me.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful.
It really is, but I was like, she's not a princess. No.
Little do you know. No, I could totally see that 100%. This isn't a super it isn't your typical Princess Disney movie for sure.
And also, how effed up that they were going to try to force this man to fight in the army when he was clearly disabled and like was using a cane to walk.
Yeah. And he still like puts down his cane to go take, the notice and everything. But, she did what she needed to do for her family, and her family needed her to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just like the best music too.
Really good music.
Oh my gosh. I know that everyone loves, I don't know the names, I guess, of any of them except for Reflection. But I'll Make a Man Out of You.
Yes.
Yeah. Personally, I like A Girl Worth Fighting For.
Yes.
I think
Cute.
it's so ridiculous. It's so silly. And like the montage that's going on during it as well just kills me. On that note, do you know Mulan's like her like three friends, like her little crew of guys that she's cool with in the army? Do you know their names?
I can see them, but I don't know their names.
Yao, Ling, and Ching Po.
Okay.
Yeah. So Yao is like the stocky guy.
Okay.
Ling is like the skinnier guy, and then Ching Po is the eater.
Yeah.
Who's personally my favorite. Absolutely love.
What is the name of like the one that's training them? Do you know?
Like the older guy that's like enforcing everything.
I don't know if he's older. He's like Mulan's age. Like he's he's like cute, like the leader, whatever. That's like going through the training with them.
Like Li Shang.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I could see a younger Megan liking him.
Oh, yeah, Megan was like,
who Megan is with now.
Who is this? I'm like, this is the Disney prince we all needed.
Yes, he is. He is really cute for an animated character.
I'm getting a little sweaty. But yeah, I think this movie just like really shaped me as a person, clearly, which it kind of feels weird to say, but also like I think Mulan is like such an aspirational character. Like watching Mulan, like the training montages and stuff like we were talking about, I'm like it almost like motivates me. I'm like, yeah, I feel powerful too now.
It's such a good message for young girls.
Yeah. And just like watching female athletes, watching an animated movie about a woman who's like fighting for such a direction. Amazing. Love it. All around.
My turn?
What you got next? Yeah.
Okay, so next on my list is a Disney Channel original film, Smart House.
Oh yeah. Dude, I was like, one of us has to have it.
This one is from 1999. The Cooper family, which is made up of Nick, the dad, Ben, the son, and Angie, the daughter. They had lost their mom, so it's just the three of them. Ben decides to place them into a competition to win a smart house. This house is, I feel like, everything we dreamed of having as a kid. I wanted to live there so bad. I thought it was so cool. It was essentially like Siri or Alexa built into the whole house. And this was before Siri and Alexa even existed.
Like
So,
super, super smart house.
super, super smart house. She controlled the temperature, she controlled the music, she controlled the food. You could order a smoothie from her and she would make it for you. I mean, the laundry, everything you could think of, she could do it. Do you have any idea of what her name was?
Oh no, not at all. I haven't seen this in probably 20 years.
So, the house's name is Pat.
Oh, dude, that was in there somewhere, but I never would have been able to recall it.
Yes, so her name is Pat.
Okay. I can like see the like ads for it in my head. Like when they'd advertise like, "Oh, this is going to be on Thursday night at 6 5 Central," or whatever that confusing way to say time was.
Yes, yeah. So Pat stood for Personal Applied Technology. And this was like a very early idea of what is now essentially AI.
Mm-hmm.
So she would pick up on your patterns and your likes and dislikes to create the best possible living environment for you. And they end up moving in, and Nick, the dad, ends up sort of falling for the creator of the smart house. Ben is not too happy about this, and neither is Pat. So Pat ends up taking on this like personified role of what is like an overbearing mother, because as one night they're all having dinner with, also I forget her name, but the creator of the smart house, and Nick mentions maybe they don't really need Pat. Pat gets wind of this and sort of loses it. Pat was not having it. She starts to freak out. Everything in the house starts to sort of malfunction. One of the things that really sticks out to me from this movie is she helps the kids throw a party. And I thought it was so cool. So Ben's friends come over and they're singing that song. And I don't know if I only know this song from that movie. So I don't know if it was like a song in this time, but it's like, jump, jump, the house is jumping. Jump, jump, the house is jumping. All of the kids have like a synchronized dance. Oh no. As the music video is going on. And it's so cool.
There's a music video that like has the dance on it.
Yes, like, and
Interesting.
Pat is like showing it on the wall.
Oh my gosh. I was like, this movie, did it predict like the future? Because now we have songs all the time that have dances that go along with it that people just like know. Which line dancing has always been a thing, but I feel like it is like a TikTok age type
Right.
thing, just in time for people to have full blown smart houses.
Right. I think that Disney definitely absolutely predicted some of the future in this movie. They get wind that Nick is coming home. Pat helps get all of the kids out of the house so that, her kids don't get caught. And there is pink silk sweater that is left behind by one of the kiddos, and that's how they end up getting caught, that they did have a party. Nick tells Pat, I can't have you being a bad influence on the kids, throwing these house parties. What is going on? And she starts to take on like this whole new motherly role. It's just a really cute film. I enjoyed it because I really wanted to be part of it, and I also had a huge crush on Ben, who like later on goes to star in, I want to say, Luck of the Irish.
Oh, wait, like the main person in it?
Yeah,
Okay, then I agree with you.
yeah, I had a really big crush on him.
Which, like, now, never. But like the Irish, when I was a kid, 100%.
Yeah, it's just a really fun movie, and definitely one of the, if not the best Disney Channel original films.
It's up there for sure. That's why it's in your top five. No, it's so good. I guess I'm gonna have to rewatch it because I really don't like as you were saying certain things, I could definitely picture it, especially like the ads that they used to play
Uh-huh.
for it. But I mean, the entire plot, I could not have told you just that she gets real mad at the end.
Yes. Yeah, okay. That's everything I have for Smart House. I'm excited to hear what's next on your list.
Next on my list is Hocus Pocus.
Oh, yeah. This was almost one of mine.
Oh, I was honestly really surprised it wasn't on yours, but I was like, all right, cool, cool. Yeah, I honestly would have been tempted to change it out for something else if it was on yours too, but I can't. Like you with Halloween Town, this was a movie that a certain part of it scared me a lot when I was a kid, but absolutely just was obsessed with the movie. Like I had to watch it every year, and I honestly still do. But Hocus Pocus is a story of the Sanderson sisters who are kind of lurking in very old timey Salem witch trial times. And they're found out by Thackeray Banks, or yeah, discovered by him, sucking the soul out of a child, his little sister, Emily.
Yeah.
The witches are caught, hung by the townsfolk, and but before that, they changed Thackeray Banks into a black cat. Fast forward way into the future, 1993 future, and we're back in the town of Salem, and we're meeting Max at school. He's a big skeptic about the Sanderson sisters. He's new in town from Los Angeles, Hollywood. He is tasked with taking his little sister Danny out trick or treating, and while they're out trick or treating, they come upon Allison's house, who is Max's crush at school, and she tells Max and Danny that there is the old Sanderson sister museum that I think her mom used to like oversee or runs, but it's closed. And Max is like, sees an opportunity to hang out with Allison. And he's like, let's go. Even though Danny's scared, they go over. They're, peeking around. It's all dusty and spiderwebby
Spooky.
and spooky. And they see the book underneath some glass. Allison's kind of educating these two newbies to Salem about the lore that's throughout the museum. And Max finds the black flame candle. And it's been told that the Sanderson sisters can come back if a black flame candle is lit by a virgin. So Max takes it upon himself to light the candle, and they bring the witches back. Thackeray Banks shows up and is like, "You idiot, look what you did. We gotta go." This is the cat talking.
Yes.
So Thackeray Banks still alive and well, but kicking as a black cat. The witches come back. They chase them all around town all night long. End up, getting to town hall. They're looking for their parents, looking for help. And witches see an opportunity to get up on stage with the band, sing a song that curses pretty much all the adults in town is what it's kind of insinuated as. So all the kids are still out and about, unsupervised, alone. But all the adults are cursed with as Winifred says, dance until you die. So we don't know the extent of the curse that she said on them, but it's done by singing "I Put a Spell on You." They are able to Max, Danny, and Allison and Thackeray Banks later on in the evening, because they're trying to coax the kids over onto them. Sarah's up in the sky singing her song. They have their potion. events transpire. They have one vial of potion. They decide to settle for Danny. They're coaxed into the graveyard by Max, Danny, and Allison. They're able to defeat the witches, and all is right back in Salem. The adults wake up. They all stumble out of the town hall. Like, it's just a weird, crazy Halloween. And I absolutely love this movie to the point that I have been to Salem and seen some of the filming locations, a couple of the ones that are there at least.
Have you really?
Yes, I did get to do that. Thankfully, I mean, Matt's dad is such a saint. He literally like scheduled us going there because he knew I'd want to do that.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah, very fun. I didn't see all of them. Hocus Pocus was kind of like half filmed in Salem, half filmed in Los Angeles. So a lot of the exteriors are filmed in Salem, or real places.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of the interiors are filmed in LA.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you visit Salem, you can see Allison's house, which I went there, the exterior of it. The interior is actually, you can see it in a few different movies. Like I know it's in Scream 2, in like several others, but it's very recognizable. But the exterior, I got to like check out the front, like walk into the backyard area. I have some photos that maybe I'll post.
Yes.
It's just a beautiful home. And then it's right next to what they call the witch house, which is, there is witches. Salem is full of history and some wild stuff, and definitely worth checking out the history of it if witches interest you. And it's very interesting. But also if you walk down like the main strip of shops in Salem, the town hall, I don't know what it actually is, but it's what is the exterior of the town hall in the movie, is right there, just like down an alleyway and between some shops. So I got to see that as well. They do have the Pioneer Village that Thackeray is from that you can visit. It's a little bit outside of Salem, so we didn't go there because it just would have been out of the way. And we were actually there on a holiday too, so some things were closed and we just didn't want to mess with it. But one day I'll go back there and I'll go check that out too. And then they have the high school as well, the exterior that you can see. And then
That's
the
so
park.
cool.
Yeah. The park that like Max walks through and Max and Allison walk through at the beginning there too is there. And the graveyard as well.
That is so cool. Do you know if the Sanderson sisters are based on real folklore, or is this the story Disney came up with?
I think it's just something that Disney came up with.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never heard of anything about 3 sister witches causing a mess. There's lots of
running amok.
Running amok, literally amok.
Who is your favorite of the Sanderson sisters?
That's hard. Honestly, probably Winifred.
Yeah.
I want that book. Honestly.
That creepy little eye.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to touch it. I don't actually, because that would be disgusting. Get bound in human skin? No, thank you. I'm not Ed Gein.
Love Sarah.
Yeah. Love Sarah.
I feel like I resonate with her. Not that I like want to eat any children, but
well, they all do that. So
I love boys.
Your little siren song.
Yes.
Mary's good. Mary's by far the funniest. Mary's kills me.
She is hilarious.
Just a couple little trivias.
Let's hear it.
What does Mary Sanderson ride instead of a broom? It's at a certain part in the movie.
Is it an animal?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
A vacuum.
A vacuum.
Yeah. I think in the second one, she rides on a Roomba. Yeah, because they're like trying to call back to that. I don't remember. I've only seen that one once. But then, do you know who Max's parents are dressed as?
Oh, no. Dracula?
That's one. Yeah.
Frankenstein's wife?
No.
What's the mom?
Madonna.
Madonna. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have guessed.
Which I did not understand when I was a kid at all.
You're like,
who is this lady? What does that mean? And pretty much the only answer I ever got was, it's Madonna. I absolutely love this movie. I cannot say it enough. There is little I love more than this movie.
I always, as a kid, thought that the cat's name was Zachary.
Zachary? I
Yeah.
mean, that's super fair. Have you met Zachary?
No, I have not.
Exactly, me either. But Billy, I did leave him out when I was doing my little movie description. Billy is Winifred's ex-boyfriend who cheated with Sarah in life, and so she sewed his mouth shut so he could never tell her secrets. And he's a zombie in the movie, and he used to scare the bejeebus out of me, where I would be like, I can't watch this part, which is like when he's like kind of like chasing them a little bit. Like he's just trying to catch up to them. But my cousin would always be like, he's nice. He helps them. And we're like, can't do it. It's scary. He's scary.
Looks so scary. He does.
Major props to that actor. I mean, he does a wonderful job as Billy, but also I think it's a pretty like known fun fact about the movie. But there's a scene where he cuts his sewn mouth, so he cuts the string so he can open his mouth and talk.
Yeah.
And he like coughs out moths.
Gross.
And they're real moths.
Disgusting.
It's not great, but the actor had to hold real moths in his mouth, and what a guy. What a
Wait a minute. They're real moths?
Like the actor like he had moths in his mouth.
Live moth. Oh no, there's not enough money you could pay me to do that.
No, I know I mentioned bugs earlier, but like there are a lot of bugs I don't have an issue with anymore. Moths are like the one bug I have a problem with.
Okay,
like
but
really
any of them would you want in your mouth?
No.
No.
Unless I was like they were dead and I was eating them for some reason. But
don't want them in my mouth then either. Don't want any bugs in my mouth at any time. Especially if they have wings and they're fluttering. No.
Yeah, no. That's why I was like, big good job, because I wouldn't.
Yeah, you're gonna have to hire someone else for this role because I'm not gonna do that.
I could go on and on about Hocus Pocus, but I'll pass it on to you again. What you got up next?
Okay, so next I have The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, there it is.
Surprise.
Oh, there it is.
So this movie came out in 1993, and it is about a skeleton man named Jack Skellington, and he is the king of Halloween Town. Every year they have a huge production for Halloween. Jack is just kind of tired of it. He wants to know what else is out there. He's very curious. It's almost like he's kind of going through a depression. He wants to know more. So him and his sidekick Zero, which is the cutest little ghost dog, they go on an adventure into Christmas Town. Jack is absolutely mesmerized by Christmas Town and who he understands to be Sandy Claus. He comes back to Halloween Town super excited. Instead of throwing a Halloween party, he wants to bring Christmas Town to Halloween Town. It is just the movie is just the adventure that he is going on trying to make that happen. You get to meet a lot of different characters in Halloween Town, one of which being Sally, who is hopelessly in love with Jack. And she is created sort of as almost like a Frankenstein type character. She is created by this like evil doctor guy, and he has sewn her together, and she's constantly just trying to poison him so that she can get away from him and live her own life. She just sort of follows Jack and tries to keep him from getting into too much trouble, and he doesn't really realize how much Sally truly cares for him until the end of the movie when they end up together and in love. But another thing about this movie, like that, another thing is the music. Again, really
Mm-hmm.
gets me in this movie. I love the music, and fun fact, the music was actually created before there was any script to the movie, which is really cool. There's not many films where that is the reality.
Danny Elfman, man, you could give that guy a twig and he'd make something so artful.
Yeah. So, question for you. Do you consider The Nightmare Before Christmas to be a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
A Christmas movie.
A Christmas movie?
Oh, without a doubt. It's about Christmas.
Well, me and the director disagree with you.
Well, whatever. I'm like, ask me what my favorite Christmas movie is, because I've had to fight people about that too.
Okay, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Gremlins.
Okay, yeah, you're crazy.
It's a Christmas movie. They're about Christmas.
Any guess as to how many puppets were used in the film?
Uh, is it a lot?
Yeah, just guess the number.
200.
Yep.
Oh, shut up.
There's over
For real,
200
200?
puppets. Yeah.
Well, over 200. Okay.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I guess I didn't process it as even having puppets.
Yeah, no, me either, but yeah.
That's super cool. So you already know that this is like a whole labor of love.
Yeah. Well, I can't tell you why I love this movie so much. I just do. I didn't really get into it until maybe like the last 10 years. I've really gotten into it. As a kid, I didn't really watch it because I thought it was too scary.
Oh,
But as I became an adult, I was like, oh no, this is so cool. I really love Sally, and I feel like, especially as like a young adult and like a teenager, I really resonated with like the fact, like, loving this boy that doesn't even know that you love him so much. And um will he ever see how much he means to me? I remember like feeling so like those lyrics were so relatable.
oh, that's sweet.
And I still really, really adore Zero. I think he's so adorable and cute. He is. I have a shelf or a bookshelf in my living room, and the top shelf is, and part of the second shelf is all Nightmare Before Christmas, and I have like 3 different Zeros up there right now.
Mhm.
I just love Zero so much. And
Zero
last year for
representation.
Halloween, I was Jack Skellington with my little Zero, and I really, really enjoyed that costume. I'm hopefully going to be able to wear it again this year. I really love this movie.
It's super good. It's a joy to watch. It's a joy to listen to. I enjoy it as well. It's just always been one that's like solid, super solid movie for Christmas or for Halloween, but I watch it around Christmas. There's not a lot of movies I'll watch around Christmas.
This is true. And uh, for me, I watch this movie year round. I have watched it at least once a month, every month of the year thus far. I watched it today. I'll probably
Okay.
watch it tomorrow.
Cute.
I watch this movie all the time. I love it so much. I really just love like playing it in the background while I'm doing whatever around the house, listening to the music and singing along. And I know pretty much all of the words in the film, and I do love it very dearly.
No, it's so good. If they do, I'd have to look, but they a few times, a few years, they've done like a live performance of the music in it at the Hollywood Bowl that they often do for different Disney movies. But I know that the Nightmare Before Christmas one is kind of more of like an annual thing that they've been doing.
Oh, cool.
I'll have to look and then drag you down here to go with me sometime, or
Yes.
drag you down here and I'll go with you.
I would love to. What's next on your movie list?
So we've reached my number one, and that's Hercules from 1997. Hercules starts off as just a tiny baby being targeted by Hades, who sends his minions to kill him. However, they fail to get him to drink the potion or the poison, which leaves him half mortal and half god. Though he doesn't know this until a little later on. He's like all strong, but just like a skinny, weird, like awkward kid. Until he reaches like his late teens. Then he is sent to the Temple of Zeus to meet his father, who is Zeus. He then sends him Pegasus, who was like kind of his gift when he was first born and his best little buddy. And now he's all grown up, just like Hercules. And he's sent to go meet Phil, who I think his actual name is Philocletes. I could be saying that wrong, but
Okay.
we'll call him Phil.
Phil.
Phil. He kind of has to like convince Phil that he's worth training because Phil has all this past experience of his champions not following through. You know, he references other Greek and Roman myths, like the Achilles in his heel. But while he's convincing Phil, we meet Meg, who's being harassed by a centaur. So Meg, or Megara, we find out is a slave to Hades, but Hercules kind of upon looking at her is like, this girl's got it going on. So he doesn't know, Hades doesn't know yet either, but Meg is actually how Hades finds out that Pain and Panic, his minions, did not follow through with their task and Hercules is still alive. From there, we see Hercules prove himself as a hero. He's working his way through pretty much like an abridged version of the 12 labors of Hercules that is told in mythology. His immortality and status as a god is restored after he selflessly saves Meg. And even though he's allowed back into up where the gods are, I don't know if I don't think it's heaven, but you know, God area. He still chooses to stay on Earth with Meg. I'm just absolutely in love with this movie. I'm borderline obsessed. I think it's just so creative. Like their composition of the film, just like mixing fantasy and Greek mythology, but also with like some modern pop culture references and soul music, but it's still like a screwball comedy. I'm like all of it put together. I think it was like not super well received when it first came out. Like, of course, it's a Disney movie, like it still did well, but you know, it wasn't the hit that Disney was really looking for. Still got its, I think, TV series short run of like Hercules, the series, but I don't know. I absolutely love it. I think it's so silly, it's so good. Again, like fantastic voice acting, great music.
So I did not see Hercules as a kid at all.
Oh, really?
No, I didn't see it until I was like in high school.
Okay. So do you remember the first time you watched it?
Yes. I had found a website that had a link to like bootleg Disney movies.
Oh,
And
Tumblr?
I
had that too.
Yeah, it was probably from Tumblr. And me and my mom, I was like 16. I had just had a surgery. and me and my mom like watched all of the Disney movies that were like on that list, and Hercules was one of them. That was the first time I had seen it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is where that song I love comes from. Because I don't know if you remember back in the day when Disney would have artists, like their pop singer artists, do covers of like Disney songs, but I
Oh yeah,
had
I had
like
one of
an
those CDs.
album.
Uh-huh.
Yes, so I had a CD and it was like the Cheetah Girls singing like Don't Say I'm in Love, and I loved that song so
Oh
much.
my gosh.
And I like didn't know what it was from, and then like saw her sing it in the movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Like this is so good. And I still think that's one of the greatest like Disney songs of all time. And it's super relatable.
Oh my goodness. No, I'm absolutely obsessed with the music. I don't remember the first time I watched Hercules. That was definitely a kid, but I feel like when I was definitely younger than high school, maybe middle school, is when I started to remember how much I loved it because honestly of that song, because don't say, won't, not don't say, won't say I'm in love. Me and my cousin used to just like watch it on YouTube,
Yeah,
just like over and over again. I'm also curious if we had the same Disney cover album.
probably.
So just a few little quiz questions again. Do you know how Hades is related to Hercules?
They're brothers, aren't they? Oh no, 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 no.
Twist.
That's his nephew.
Yeah, which I did not know. I don't remember that being a thing, but hey. And then do you know what iconic, also 90s Disney villain has a cameo in Hercules?
What's a cameo?
Oh, like a short appearance, or it's like a little Easter egg with them in it.
Oh, no, I don't.
Scar.
Scar is in Hercules?
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's alive, but yeah. At one point Hercules like picks up like his essentially like a like lion skin, and it is definitely Scar. Like very blatantly, clearly Scar. Yeah. So I thought that was really funny that like Hades is also an uncle. So like, okay, everyone's uncle's out here just going crazy,
Running amok.
running amok. Back to that.
Yeah. Wow. No, I'm gonna watch Hercules later because I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it's like pretty quick, but it's definitely noticeable. Like if you're watching, you'll definitely notice it. Also, just one last little note, like Hercules related. I really think the parks are missing an opportunity to have more mythology involved because they have several properties that involve mythology or mythological creatures. Like, okay, we got Greek mythology, we got well Greek Roman mythology. Hercules is kind of squished between the two. They kind of mix them. But I know I'm not gonna remember the other stuff right now, but you get my point.
Yeah, like Atlantis and
Yeah, exactly. You feel me.
yes.
What's last on your list?
Last on my list, ooh, is Tarzan.
Oh, love.
Love Tarzan so much. I know that I did see this in theaters with my parents. Not that I remember because I was like two, but I did see Tarzan in theaters. Um, it was it came out in 1999, and Tarzan is an orphan left in the jungle who ends up being raised and brought up by gorillas as well as other animals in the African jungle. He meets Jane, who is on an expedition with her father and this hunting man, I don't know, I forget what his name is, that is leading them in this expedition. And they're like, I believe they're hunting gorillas, right? And
Oh,
I think, or he is at least.
so they're poachers?
But yes, I think so. The biggest part of this movie that I think has drawn everyone in that almost didn't happen is Phil Collins.
Absolutely. Another movie that the music just goes hard.
I can't think of a Disney movie that has better music than Tarzan.
That's fair.
It's so good. Every single song in this soundtrack is so good. Everyone knows them. They're a hit whether you've seen the movie or you haven't. Phil Collins did an incredible job. Little piece of trivia here. He wrote You'll Be in My Heart at a Christmas dinner. And can you guess what he wrote it on? The lyrics to
Like,
it. What he wrote it on?
physically, what he wrote it on?
Yeah.
A napkin
Phil
or
Collins
wrapping paper?
wrote You'll Be in My Heart. The lyrics to You'll Be in My Heart on a piece of wrapping paper.
You got to work with what you got on hand, right? He was inspired, clearly.
But yeah, initially when Disney came to him, he did not think he would be a good fit for writing the soundtrack of this film. They were like, no, like you're exactly what we want for this movie, for this soundtrack. And he's like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Ends up winning so many awards for best soundtrack and amongst other awards. The music in this movie is just unbeatable. It's the best.
Do you have a favorite song?
Give me a second.
Personally, I like Wrecking the Camp because I think it's silly and in sync.
I do really love You'll Be in My Heart. I think it's really sweet. But Strangers Like Me.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Strangers Like Me is so good, man.
I feel like that's another song I remember from that Disney classics like covers album we were talking about.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, that's all I've got.
Amazing picks. Well done. There are definitely some ones that are unfortunately not. Like there's so many that also could have been a part of this list, but these are our top 5 for now. Thank you so much for listening. We post new content every Saturday, so please follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you listen so you never miss an episode.
And don't forget to review and rate us 5 stars, share it with your friends, and subscribe to @Magical Happy Hour Podcast on Instagram. Megan, where can we find you?
You can find me at Megan Cruden on Instagram, and there's a link to my TikTok on there as well. Shy, what about you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Disney Obsessed Nurse. And if you're interested in having a professional travel agent that specializes in Disney and Universal Studios planning your next vacation, you can find the link to my website in our podcast notes or email me at Cheyenne, SHYANNE, at vincentvacations.com. We'll see you guys next week.
Cheers!
Cheers!